Happy video day, guys. So for today's video, I'm actually pretty excited because I did a surprise trip to Sephora. I was actually not planning on going to the store today, but I actually did. And when I was in store, I actually saw a palette that I planned on passing on because, I don't know, in the photographs it just called my attention at one moment and then later on it didn't call my attention as much. But when I saw it in person, my mind kind of changed. I swatched it a little bit and I said, you know what? I think I'm gonna buy this palette. What I'm talking about, guys, is this palette right here from Charlotte Tilbury. This is called the Icon palette, and it's a limited edition palette that she released that kind of goes outside of her typical eyeshadow palettes. So it kind of called my attention for that reason. Also, a lot of palettes are coming out with a lot of colors lately because that's going to be a little kind of like a thing you're going to start seeing now in the spring. And when I started seeing the photographs coming out and I started finding out more about the palette, I said, you know what, maybe I'll pass on it. But I'm telling you, in person, this thing is so pretty. So I just want to show you guys the inside of this palette. So it looks just like this. And I don't think on camera it does it justice, or in photographs it does it justice than how it looks in person. In person, this is such a beautiful palette. So there was just something really interesting about it, and I really wanted to try it out. It is $65 US, so it is not an inexpensive little palette here. So it definitely needs to pass a few little tests for me. So while I was there, I also picked up another product from her. I picked up the Matte Revolution lipsticks in Pillow Talk. This is one of her classic lipsticks. This is probably one of her famous colors, and I kind of had never tried any of her lip products before, and I really wanted to try it, and I figured might as well try Pillow Talk. This is something I hear about all the time. So before we get into the video, if you guys don't know who I am, hi, I'm Christina Brooke, and this is the Glam Ranch. What I do is talk about makeup. I do a bunch of different makeup reviews. I also do my celebrity series of makeup on the red carpet, where I go over the makeup products that celebrities wear during red carpets. And yeah, I do a lot of fun things like that. So if you guys are interested in any of that content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and be part of the Glam Ranch family. And let's go ahead and get right into this video. So the first thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the design of the palette. So when you do get the palette, it comes in this typical cardboard box. The cute thing is that the cardboard box does mimic exactly what the actual palette does look like. It's a really cute packaging. I do think it kind of goes with the theme. I was not born in the 70s, but I do know that this is a very 70s type of theme, and it's supposed to be like the discos out in Ibiza and all this stuff. It is a different look for Charlotte Tilbury. She usually has a very classical, very classic looking palette. This kind of goes within that, but it adds a little bit of something else to it. In the back, it does give you all the information on all the colors that you're getting, and it also gives you kind of like a scheme of how you can work the colors. If you guys are not really into like figuring things out on your own and you want something to kind of like give you like an idea of the way you can use the palette, Charlotte Tilbury typically does this a lot in a lot of her palettes, and this palette is not any different. So when you get the palette and you open it up, in the inside, you do get this really cute little film, and on the film, it does give you numbers, and it tells you like these colors here are for day eyes, it tells you date night eyes, and it kind of like gives you the ways that you can use the palette. So it separates it between day eyes, date eyes, diva eyes, and disco eyes. When looking at the colors, I can't see how these kind of colors go with what she's saying they're for. So for the most part, I do want to let you guys know that this palette typically has mostly shimmery kind of shades in it. Most of these colors are kind of like that shimmer kind of formula. So if you guys look at it, it is more like metallic-y. There is only 3 satin shades in this palette, which is this kind of like burgundy tone, this brown tone, and this black. It's more of a satin formula. It is not a true matte, but it is not a shimmer. Basically everything up here and this one are all shimmer. And it's a very pretty shimmer. I am not somebody who owns a lot of Charlotte Tilbury products, but I really honestly think that this is a beautiful shimmer formula. I don't know if this is her standard formula for shimmers, but this is pretty damn incredible. So when I saw this palette in person, I kind of said, wow, that's really pretty. It really looks so much more beautiful in person than it translates even on screen. Like, these colors just look so well together. This is more of like a jewel tone kind of palette, and it has very neutral jewel tones. Now, when I first saw this palette, I said, wow, this is kind of out of the realm for Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury has very natural looking makeup, and she kind of has like a scheme when it comes to her eyeshadow palette. I'm kind of very used to seeing like her scheme. When I saw this one, I said, well, this is the most out of the box I've seen of Charlotte Tilbury's line. But when I saw it in person, I said, I can understand how this can be part of her line, because if you really look at it and you see it in person, these tones in here are very easy to use colors. It's a colorful palette that is not intimidating. I feel like somebody who is kind of scared of color can use really easily, because like even like this beautiful green, this beautiful blue, and even this color here, they just are just beautiful hues of the colors that mix so well. And I actually feel like if you're somebody who owns Charlotte Tilbury's other palettes, like if you own any of her other releases that have more mattes in it, this is a beautiful complement to those. And I feel like this is a complementary type of palette. I did use only this palette on my eyes today just because I wanted to try to create a look only using this palette. However, I feel personally that this is a complementary palette. These shimmery kind of shades, guys, I'm telling you, the formula is pretty damn spectacular. I'm actually quite impressed with it. I love the way that they applied. I used my finger mostly for it and I just loved it. On her website, Charlotte Tilbury does call this her iconic star power in one palette. It has 12 intensely pigmented shades that are designed for every occasion and every mood. Inspired by the spotlights, rock stars, and dancers Charlotte partied with in Coup Club in Ibiza. These multicolored, multi-use shades glide across the eyelids, lips, cheeks with silk satin and rich molten textures that can be used wet or dry. What I think is interesting is that she does refer to this as a product that you can use on your lids, you can use it on your cheeks, and you can use it on your lips. Now, I am interested in using maybe some of these products on the lip. I don't know how you would use, like maybe like just to add like some glitter. I don't know. Like, that's actually pretty. If you could kind of layer it on top of the lipsticks and stuff to kind of give you like a little bit of like a glowy look, I can see you doing that. And actually that did a really pretty effect, so I did like that. I'm actually interested in using this color here as a highlight and see how it works. I mean, I already have some highlight on, but it definitely gives you a little bit more of a highlight. So I can see you using some of these colors for your face. I can see you using some of them for mostly your eyelids and stuff. Now, it's interesting too because she does say it's a wet dry formula, and I did use this color right here with my finger and patted it on my lid, and I felt like it did a decent effect, but when I wet my brush, I was like, whoa. Like, I really like the shimmers wet more than I like them dry. Now, if you want like a subtle look, like let's say you want to put like these shimmers all over your lid to kind of give like an illusion of like a sheer shimmer, you can do that with just putting on your finger and spreading it across the lid. I didn't really love the way it worked with the brush. I mean, I guess if you want to do more of a sheer coverage, you can do it that way too. But if you want that intense pigmentation, spray your brush with some MAC Fix Plus, and these shadows literally jump out at you, and they look so beautiful. Like I said, the shimmer that I have on my eyes right now, I did spray my brush with MAC Fix Plus, and I think it worked really good. So in order to create the look that I have on today, I did my typical steps, which is I went ahead and concealed my eyes with my Fenty Beauty concealer. I went ahead and also used my Smashbox Cali Contour, and I used this banana color shade. I put that all over my lid, and it just kind of like sets down the concealer, but it also kind of just gives me a good base to start working with. So I went ahead and jumped into this color right here and kind of focused it mostly into my crease and kind of blended it out. And I will tell you that I feel like her formula is one of those formulas that is easy to use, and you need to build up the color. You don't get instantaneous color, which to me I think is actually a good thing. Sometimes to me it's easier to kind of work with a color when you need to build it up, and then for it to give you like instantaneous pigmentation. Now, I felt like when I was blending it, it actually blended really nice, and I was having a really easy time doing the blend with it. This is more of a satin formula, which this formula was kind of interesting, but when applying it to my lid, it's not like I really saw like a sheen or anything. It's almost like a wet dry formula. It was an interesting formula, but I don't feel like I saw it too sheeny on the lid or anything like that. So when you touch the formula of these satin kind of colors, they almost feel like they're like a wet formula, but when you put them on your eye, they're totally like powder. So it's a very interesting formula, but I did use this one in the crease. I went into this color right here, and I focused that one mostly on my outer edge and kind of just smoked it out. Now, when I was using this color, for some reason, I thought it was going to go a little bit more darker brown, and it went a little bit more mauve. I don't really know why I thought that because this color is obviously mauve. But when I started to do that, I had to change my idea because I was planning on using this color here. And then I said, you know what? I'm not going to go with green. I'm going to go with gold. So I kind of like changed up my eye look. But I was going ahead and I put this one into my crease and kind of focused it on the outer edge and blew it out. I went ahead and blended it really well. I feel like it blended pretty damn good. Then I went ahead and grabbed into this black other satin shade that she has in this palette. And I kind of with a detail brush kind of really detailed out the outer edge because I wanted to add some darkness to the outer edge. Even though this color did give it a little bit of darkness, I wanted it even darker. For me, sometimes I really like to show a really dark outer edge, so that's what I use this color for. And I feel like this black blends so good. Like it blended really, really well. I feel like I put the color on and when I started blending it out, I was like, oh my God, I blended like the whole color. Like it like blended like, I was like, wow. Usually with blacks, I noticed that a lot of times blacks can get patchy and stuff. I feel like this black blended really good. It is not a standard matte black like I'm saying. It's more of like a satiny black. So it does perform different from matte blacks, but I do think it performed really good and I was actually pretty shocked. So all the satin formula, I feel like they blended out really nice. Then when it came for adding like this kind of gold or shimmer color to my eyes, I didn't really know which color to go with. I was intentionally going to use this one in the beginning. Then I decided to go ahead and change it up because I didn't think it was going to work the way I wanted it to. So what I did was I grabbed this gold right here and oh my God, guys, this gold is so beautiful. Like I don't even know if you guys can see this on camera. It has the coolest like kind of effect that it's so glittery. Like it almost looks like you have like glitter on your eyes, but it's not glitter, it's shimmer. And I'm not used to it being like this reflective. Like I feel like this is a very reflective shimmer and it just looks so pretty on the lid. I was really, really impressed with this color, like extremely impressed. So then I went ahead and just used this color right here on the edge and added that into my inner corner. And guys, talk about beam. This really gives a strong beam to your inner corners. I was thoroughly impressed with all the colors that I used. In order to do the lower lash line, I grabbed this burgundy tone and a little bit of the black, mixed them together and just smoked out the lower lash line. Didn't want to do too much craziness with the lower lash line. And then I just added a purple eyeliner to my waterline mascara and I was done. I did have a lot of fun creating this look. I feel like I'm going to come out with some really cool looks with this palette, and that is actually interesting to me, which I'm going to tell you guys, see this thing in person. In person, it's a lot more beautiful than I feel like even photographs, and I feel like all of these tones in here are going to do some pretty cool, unique looks. Now, what I also really love about this palette is I love the hue of these colors. I feel like the hue is right. The hue is really pretty. Like, I know right now a lot of these pastel-y kind of neon colors are really, really in, and I totally think that those are cool and I like them. I personally am the type of person that when it comes to those type of shadows, I want to spend a little bit less money on them because I know I'm not going to wear them all the time. So I'm happy that when Charlotte Tilbury released a palette like this one that does have these vibrant colors in it, it's vibrant, but it's also vibrant colors that I think a lot of people would enjoy wearing. It's not that intimidating. And for $65, I would hope it's going to be something that we would wear a lot. Now, what I do like too is I love the blue and I love the green, guys. The blue and the green in this palette are kind of colors that I can see you putting them all over the lid and they're not going to be super intimidating. It's weird because it almost looks like a foil shadow, but it has like this like glittery effect. It's different from a lot of my other eyeshadows, which is actually kind of exciting me because I like the effect. I think the effect is really pretty, especially on that tone. So overall for the palette, I have to tell you guys, I have a really good first impression right now. I feel like the shimmers in the palette as well as these satin matte kind of colors, they worked really, really, really good. It looked really beautiful on the lid. I feel like I'm going to come up with a bunch of looks with this palette. So get ready, guys. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, go ahead and jump over to Instagram at the Glam Ranch. I'm going to be creating a lot of looks with this palette. I just feel inspired by it. I feel like I can use this palette very daily, which I'm actually pretty excited about. Obviously, there's a lot of shimmer in here, so you are going to have to, know that there's a lot of shimmer in here. I would say for the normal person, this is a great add-on palette. I feel like if you have a palette that has a lot of matte shadows in it, this is a beautiful palette to just add that final touch to like any eyeshadow, because these shimmers in here worked incredible. They were so beautiful that actually I feel like, wow, that's pretty awesome that the whole palette is almost shimmer. And I am not somebody to say that. I usually like palettes to have mattes because I like to grab one palette and not have to jump into two. But when you have a formula that is this beautiful, I'm actually happy that a lot of the palette is that amazing formula. I do like this satin matte kind of formula, but I think that the main like impressive formula in here is these shimmers. Like, they're just really, really beautiful. I'm actually really impressed with this, guys. I feel like if you guys have a Sephora near you, just go into the store and swatch it. So if you are a Charlotte Tilbury fan and you own a lot of the Charlotte Tilbury products, I think this is a great addition. It is limited edition, so you're not going to be able to get it forever. And I did just recently tell you guys that I was not going to buy so many limited edition products, but this one just really spoke to me in the store and I just had to pick it up. So guys, I think that this is a win. I actually really like it. It is $65, so it is expensive, but I really, guys, I really like that shimmer formula, and I love the blend. The blend was so easy that I'm pretty impressed right now. Of course, guys, I'm going to continue to use this product for the next few days. I will do a review follow-up on it after using it and let you guys know how it wore. So the other product that I tried was the Matte Revolution lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury, and guys, I love this color. I can understand why this is such a famous color from her. Like, when I saw it in the store, I was kind of like, well, that looks like a nude lipstick, but oh my gosh, it glides on your lips super smooth. It gives you a really even pigmentation. When I was kind of like right now, I feel like my lips feel like moisturized. They don't feel like they don't feel dry. They feel very moisturized, but it is a matte lipstick. And at the same time, like, I've been wearing it for a long time. I don't feel like it's breaking apart. So I'm actually pretty impressed with the lipstick as of right now. So I do think that this is the perfect nude lipstick. So this is the perfect color nude. It's a beautiful nude. Pillow Talk is one of her famous lipsticks. That's why I wanted to pick this one up. Her lipsticks, of course, are not that inexpensive either. They are $34, but I really think that this is a beautiful formula. And I really like the case of it. The case is absolutely stunning as well. So yeah, guys, I had a really good first impression with these Charlotte Tilbury products. I really like all of them. I really like the eyeshadow palette. I'm very excited to continue to use it, and I like it more than I thought I was going to like it, to be honest. I swatched it in the store and it got me excited, but when I put it on my eyes, I was like, okay, I can get it. I get it. And for the lipstick, I'm super excited because I think it's going to work out awesome. So guys, I am pretty impressed. I am happy with these products. So leave me your comments below. Have you guys tried the Icon palette from Charlotte Tilbury? Do you guys like it? What do you guys think of the color selection? So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget, leave me your comments below and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.